Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing today? Um, I'm starting out with a verbal pause. Remember that in my speech class, you learn try not to do that when you're speaking because I forgot what was the reason why. It does show that you're thinking, you're not sure, your lessens confidence or something when you do the verbal pause. So maybe I'll practice that right now. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that's a verbal pause right there. So all I kind of say. Welcome. Thank you for joining me again. It is day 51 in Proverbs 11, 3 or 4. We are continuing on with our time in Proverbs. As you will know from last time, if you're here yesterday, we're changing. The themes are definitely changing compared to what we're doing in chapter 10, which totally killed me. Not killed me, but showed me and exhorted me in my ways that I need to work on, which happens to be with my mouth. This one takes a little bit of a turn differently, and it's comparing riches and your own integrity and living a righteous life. So, before we get started, let's go ahead and remind ourselves of our baselines. The baselines relate to the seven. What are the seven pillars of wisdom? Purity, peacefulness, and then you could read it in the description. But mainly, it's the fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom. And what that basically means that if you're following God and if you know him, he has the keys to heaven or hell. And he's the one that ultimately judges. And if you know that, there should be a little bit of fear of that he will go ahead and crack the whip of judgment on you whenever whenever you do things that are disobedient and stuff like that. And so he is the ultimate vision example of a father. So that's what you call God. So, but he has, other than his, I wouldn't say vindicative, judgmental ways. Of course, there are specifically rules and boundaries that must be followed if you're going to follow God and, or be a believer, because you can't just do willy nilly anything you want. But when you're under Christ, you can do whatever you want because if you are following him, you're doing things to please him. And so whatever you want deals with following and doing things with him. So just keeping that in mind. Righteous living is thing, integrity, all those different things is a part of that. And so as we get into the word, let's keeps the baselines in line. Yes, read it in the description and all that stuff, and that'd be great. All right. So Proverbs 11, 3 and 4 in the ESV. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. So the two different people are the upright and then treacherous. Oops, I always do that. Let's go with this one again. This one. So destroys them versus guiding them. So it's the integrity of the righteous and the crookedness of the treacherous. Does that? Riches do not profit on the day of wrath. Do not profit. Okay. Uh, righteousness delivers from death. I was wondering if I should give this the delivers from riches, do not profit. So I guess I'll give that the righteousness. Okay, I'll give this yellow. All right, here we go. Um, the integrity of the upright. If you are upright, you are someone, and the integrity, if you're remembering the baselines, is that um living a righteous life is basically it. Truthful, without deceit, full of mercy and partiality. I'm looking at the seven pillars and maybe even the fruits of the spirit as a guide for what it means to be upright. And those ideas and characteristics kind of lead you on a straight path, and it guides them. It's like it's like the roadmap of how you should live life. Okay. Especially with integrity. Being living integrity is no one has to watch you, but you'll make the right decisions that's appropriate under Christ. And so it if you are that type of person, then it will guide you. It will lead you in a straight path. Because it's contrasting with the second part of this verse, which is crookedness. Crookedness is like zigzagging of the treacherous. Now, treacherous is someone who lies, who's deceitful. Um, I forgot that thing, unconscious gain, um, something gain. Anyways, so these are the and so and the contrast is with the straight guiding path. I'm adding straight because that's what I think of. It's like from point A, point B, you don't stray away from that and you go ahead and do that. But when you go the crookedness way, you have a path, but you're going all these different ways to try to get that. And it could be deceitful, it could be hurtful to other people. And this is what it means for just treacherous. And that kind of life ultimately could destroy that person. Okay. Because they're living a life that's not straight. It's crooked, basically. That's why it's interesting. The crook, a crook is like a thief or a burglar. Crooked, someone who is living a life that's not righteous. Okay. So if you look at the contrast between the what it means to have wisdom, that would be crookedness of the treacherous. And treacherous kind of relates this idea that it can be hurtful. Oh my gosh, look out! That's a treacherous way to be place to stand because you could kill yourself in that situation. Yeah, because the way they're living is a life that could lead them to destruction. It is not a safe way. They're lying. They're being deceitful. Um, there's a couple of phrases that, yeah, and everything. So that's basically it. The right living versus the treacherous living. Okay. Uh, differentness, different between, or the contrast between having integrity versus ha- being crooked, so to say. All right, let's go to the next verse. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath. And in the day of wrath, I'll put that in there. Day of wrath means divine judgment, whether it's judgment that you get a specific calamity, which is possible, that you do something so bad that there is actually in the life that you're living, you'll get some kind of calamity or something will happen to you. That is possible. Like, I guess if you'd call it like you do some weird business dealing that is not good and you lose everything, your house, your all your property, or whatever, and you're living on the streets temporarily or something. That would be like the divine judgment. You've done something and then there is actual consequence for that. But also divine judgment means are also the end of time. That it is the end of your life and that then you're going to be judged for that. And and so there will come a time when you're going to be standing before God and you have to pay account for the things that you've done. And material wealth, the riches of this world won't save you. You can't buy salvation. You can't buy your freedom from hell or anything like that. Like that, the material wealth is a fleeting, temporary thing that will go away once you die. So it's not forever. But if you're living a righteous life, a life that is worthy of the gospel, is that a thing? Worthy of Christ, worthy of God, following the baselines of wisdom and trying to live in the way that you're supposed to, with integrity, with yeah, righteous living, then you'll be delivered from death. And that's not a death um in this life, but a death, the eternal death. He'll deliver you from the eternal death because you are doing what you're supposed to do and doing right for God. And so again, differences. So these verses basically are showing us um, the benefits of living a right life, and that you cannot put your trust in the material wealth of this world. Um, but righteousness is the way to go. That will help you in the future. So, anyways, that was good for today. Hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Peace.